Here we are. Hi, friends.
Hey.
Hey, happy December 28th. It's a Thursday, but we couldn't let this year end. That's right. We couldn't let this year end without talking with you folks one more time and without getting together for a lovely dungeon cooldown. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Josephine coming to us live from Texas. Not your usual.
Hey, y'all.
I thought something was different. Your changeling nature comes through again, and you just another accent comes out. Which
one of them is that. I want that one to come up at some point.
Dang it. I remember us having conversations after City of Glass when you were like, which identity would work for Val's hometown? And we were talking about it, and you eventually landed on Rillian. But I want to go back to that conversation, like, who's the southern guy?
Yeah, I think y'all got a little glimpse of him for like a second.
I'm trying
when
to
I
remember.
was flitting through, right? Remember there was a point where I was like just flitting through.
That's right. You were
one of them was
that
one. But I don't know if it was long enough for y'all to, for anyone to actually notice. But yeah.
Yeah. It's so lovely to see you all in chat. Vampire Bates here, The Tension. Hi, friends. Taparto, City Racing Girl. City Racing Girl, I hope you're feeling better. I saw your note in the Discord that you were under the weather, so I hope you're doing well. Gateway Guy, Ugly Bad Good, to a Mask. Hey, everybody. Josephine, last night, I and the patrons who are part of our Patreon-exclusive D&D campaign, we were lucky enough to gather together for a little celebration in what we call a town hall, and just had a lovely 2-hour Zoom where we kind of recapped everything that's been happening in our story in that campaign, and we had such a great time. It was so lovely.
Oh, lovely.
I know. It was a really lovely way to end the year with them.
That's nice and cozy.
And it's also like serves the practical purpose of I am DMing a campaign for about 20 people right now, and we do it in like parties of 4 or 5.
All.
Yeah, that's a psh. And we do it in parties of 4 or 5, and so I need to make sure that everybody is sharing information. So every now and then I call like a town hall that I'm like, all right.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to make sure that everybody knows at least some specifics.
That's cool. Yeah, that's a really smart idea.
Yeah.
Good job.
Because it has been like, that like certain NPCs or, deaths will happen or huge things will happen that will, that some players will miss, and we have such beautiful moments in one game that like the next person's like, oh yeah, I love that NPC, and I'm like, sorry about that. That guy's toast.
Oh no.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I hope you didn't like him too much.
Yeah, I feel bad sometimes, but it is always.
Look, I feel that way all the time in tabletop RPGs.
Yeah.
Actually, on shows. Is seeing the audience comment on certain things or love certain things, and you knowing full well that you're planning on taking that all crashing down, or something.
Oh, right, where you're like
inside scoop, like, oh, they really love that, huh?
Don't love that
they don't
too
know
much.
That was don't love it too much.
Gonna get real connected to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, especially a show like ours, who, I mean, at this point we have such kind of we've been like building lore for 4 years now, over 4 years now, and so like there are things where you as a newer player this year, like certain names like the Keeper of Secrets get dropped, and you're like, huh?
Yeah, I was like,
and everybody's like,
I mean, obviously it sounds epic, but
right.
I'm like, who's this guy?
Sounds cool, I guess. It's like, oh, no big deal, nothing. It's fine. Don't be worried.
I mean, I still don't know. I mean, I sort of.
And we kind of love that about it, but that's all right. But we wanted to gather together not only because last episode, as we talked about, was whoa.
Oh my god.
That was the other thing I didn't tell you. It has. I don't know if Ron directly played into this, but it has weirdly turned into like a not so tradition that. Our last main episode of the year, somebody always cries.
Oh, great.
Like, I don't know what happens with us in holiday episodes. It started our first year with a Stranger's Fate episode, which was, we created a holiday called Stranger's Fate, which is about, like, the kindness of strangers. And that episode Like we're all it just the dichotomy of being dressed in cheerful holiday gear and just being emotionally devastated.
Yeah, right. I know we're in like ho ho ho, like, whatever else. We're like, we gotta save these people from dying.
We talked about it a little bit on the short rest, but to give everybody a little bit of background, when we sat down for that episode, as we pre-taped it and everything, and we knew it was just gonna be the three of us, me, Josephine, and Serena. Carrie was still under the weather, and then Adam had a quick schedule conflict that came in at the last minute. And so we're like, all right, it's just gonna be three of us, but it's gonna be fine. The three of us have a lot to talk about, and so
we got plenty to RP,
for sure. And Ron's like, cool. Yeah, we can fill. It'll be fine.
I know Ron acting as if there was like nothing that he had. Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, all right, I'm sure we can fill. And I was like, here I was like, oh yeah, you know what? These are the characters that Rillian feels most comfortable with. I will do a little like backstory.
Yeah, we'll have some good backstory.
Divulging, and then the fucking sorry.
It's all right.
I'm in holiday mode.
I know we're in holiday mode. We're in that liminal space between Christmas and New Year's. Anything goes. The meteor comes out of nowhere. Yeah, Ron, how dare you?
I was like, oh my gosh, because what's so funny is like, I feel like, I'm sure that you feel like I did tell y'all some details.
Yes.
Not
enough.
But not what I was actually getting to.
Yeah, Vampire Bait says, to be fair, if the whole episode had just been deep lore drops, it would have been great too. Agreed.
Because I feel that what I told you is stuff that you could already deduce.
Yeah.
And I was working to, like stuff that you maybe have guessed about, but that, right?
Right.
The court life, these things like that, and Feywild, and like things like connections that you could make. I was a little more explicit about it and confirm things, but that's not actually what I was planning to do.
Right. That shows. But no, they were also like, okay, yeah, Mara's a princess. Not Mab's daughter. We definitely were like, whoa, hold up. But no, not Mab's daughter, but a princess of the Feywild.
Honestly, who knows? I don't know. Like with Mab,
couldn't
she have like a million kids and we don't even know? I don't.
Ron seemed to pretty clearly say, not as far as you know.
Not as far as you know. That's what I mean, though.
Right.
Like, me as a player, I'm like, she's been alive forever. And it's gods, right? Gods are like having kids.
Right.
Or, I don't know if she's a god.
Mab especially.
Whatever.
Yeah, Mab is sort of in that area of, like, she's sort of a god and sort of just an extremely powerful archfey, and what's the difference, honestly? Daria's got conspiracy theories. But also at the end of Broken Ring, there was something implicated with Jessica's character, with beautiful Hono.
With Hono?
Yes, with Hono and Mab's. It seemed as if Hono knew something. I don't know what was going, because she was like almost like a lady in waiting for Mab at some point, but I don't know what that means. So
the other thing, I mean, I know you watched some episodes, but I assume that you didn't see like any of our secrets.
I did not watch your Secret Room in Broken Ring. There were some that
No, not Broken Ring, but right. with the Keeper of Secrets or whatever we spoke with.
I don't know.
Okay,
that.
So just chat. Keep in mind.
Do you want me to take?
We don't know. No. We just that we. I don't want them to put in chat that we don't know each other's secrets.
Yes. Got it. Cool.
And what we saw.
No. There's definitely you dropped a it's getting hot in here, right? At some point, and I came quite close at one point as well. I will say that we've come close to my secret a little bit. Once or twice where I almost had to say it.
Hono was the one who mentioned the wedding being called off. I think so. Yeah, I think Hono was the only one who talked about that sort of like court like that stuff. Morgan will tell us secrets soon enough.
Daria throwing out predictions.
I wonder who's gonna slip first.
Mine's getting close.
Yeah.
However, it'll really, what it'll come down to? It'll really come down to who most covets their special power they get from the
I
secret.
know. I really like mine now that I've discovered it.
Yours is bad. Yours is badass. Mine
like,
is.
Oh, I can lie and sneak better. Are you kidding?
Mine's pretty cool. Mine's pretty cool, but also I could live without it. Maybe I say that
I feel
now.
like there's more to yours to discover, though. I think
agree.
there's something else.
I
Yeah.
agree. We haven't really battle tested mine so far yet.
I am 100% weirded out by autos. Well,
oh yeah,
not
the
me. I think it's
shape-shifting
awesome.
Right.
I think it's awesome. I think Yuri really and whatever is totally weirded out by autos.
Agreed. Oh yeah, like you thought you had this changeling power over somebody, and then your most confidant, your interested party, whatever you call
Your interested party,
whatever you call the relationship you have with Otto,
right?
Now also gets that power. It's a little weird for you, isn't it?
yeah. Well, I think it's okay for someone to have that power. I think it's weird that it's Otto.
Right. It is.
I think that like my thought process is like character-wise for them is that they're now maybe concerned about the connection that Otto is making to them.
It's a little bit like, you don't want this power.
Yeah, like is it like, or is it like, does it turn into like Gone Girl type stuff?
Yikes.
Right? Like, but couldn't that be
Woo. I mean, okay. All right.
I mean, a moment of concern.
Right. Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Like just, and if you think about it, right? Yuri likes Otto.
Fair to say.
Doesn't want Otto to try to be them, right?
Right.
Like, I don't think anyone wants someone to be that. Like, the person that you're with, like, you like them because of their differences and all of these things.
Right.
And so, even with friends and whatever, so it's like, I think
I loved that. I loved some of that because some of that conversations happened between the two of you in the last couple episodes, right? Where it's just sort of like getting to, what are these different parts of your personality? And I mean,
yeah,
I as much as we loved Rhea, your natural whatever style with Rillian is so smooth. And I honestly, you've played it so well that I've almost forgotten about Rhea at this point, because I was like, you're just so natural in this kind of a whatever. That moment in the clip we posted yesterday of Otto saying like, I mean, I'll just be over here on the other side of the bed. Maybe you won't even notice, and you're like, oh, I'll notice. Like, whoa.
Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it.
I can tell. It shows.
Yeah, having fun with it and wondering when the next persona is gonna come along,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends like how much trouble we get ourselves in, right?
I honestly, I like that you're kind of precious with it, because I've seen people play changelings as where you're almost dropping and picking up new personalities.
Oh yeah, all the time.
The time, and it makes them more expendable, whatever. Dispensable, I think was the word I was trying to say. And I sort of enjoy because it's so obvious that you've given thought and character to each of these, and the style that they have, and it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I have some, I just haven't had a reason for it, but I do have. And I've got these lists of personas, I've got like their descriptions, I've got their sort of like attitudes and things, and some of them are smaller blips where it's like, oh, I kind of put the situations that call for them.
Yep. And that makes total sense.
Yeah.
In fact,
and like we're in the city, so like
right.
really, this is perfect for the city, right? Like, but you watched the Broken Ring. I wonder if I can stay. If I can be Rillian, because the beginning of Broken Ring, we see that Rillian is wanted, right? Yep. There are wanted posters
in the Feywild.
Yes. And now there's a red cap talking to Coco, which is why I've been so concerned about it.
We don't know. One thing I don't know is why Rillian is wanted.
Right.
Yes. You do know that. Or you were playing dumb, maybe, with that NPC at the start of Broken Ring, I love that voice from Rachel, and I'm forgetting the name of that
Oh
character.
my God, yeah. It was so good.
Did you
Oh
shtup
yeah, I don't remember.
somebody?
Yeah, did you shtup? I don't know. I don't know.
The
Maybe I shtupped
shtupping conversation. I forget the name of that character, but you played dumb. I don't know if you really didn't know why you were wanted, though. And don't feel free not to answer me. Oh, okay, you do know.
I do know.
You are well aware.
Yeah.
I think it might be related to Mara, but I'm not sure.
Like I'm well aware. I think there's always the like, I can't believe this cover is blown. You know, like you don't know what versions of you, if you can change into different ones, has been found out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vampire Bait has come up with the title of everybody's new favorite sitcom, Everybody Wants Rillian. Everybody loves Raymond. Everybody hates Chris. Everybody wants Rillian.
I mean, it's a fun challenge, especially with like Otto as well. It's like having come in as Rhea and everyone liking Rhea and having fun with that, and then being like, well, Rhea's gone. and trying to keep that rapport.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I almost think that like Rillian almost makes Otto more flustered.
It's weird that I find, at least Val finds Rillian a little more easily trustworthy, and I'm sure part of that is having known Yuri longer and all of this. Rhea, obviously, just given the circumstances of how we met, but there was something shifty about Rhea that was more like, I can't read this lady. And Rillian, he's just kind of Rillian, I think, reminds Val of himself in a lot of like younger Val in some ways.
Oh, young Val.
A little bit. And so I think
I
talked about this on our last cooldown with Serena. I was like, I think Val sees something in Rillian, and definitely when you throw in the combination of the vision of our past marriage of whatever, I think there's potentially some very interesting feelings going on there.
Yes, I know. I wanted to explore some of that.
Be my guest.
I wanted to in our last episode before, everything went sideways.
Yes, right. And then a meteor hit. Ron, give us a second, would you?
And then a meteor hit. Yeah, but that was really, that was fun. Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting. But
it's such like, to our inability to identify what the heck is going on with our relationships in this party right now is fascinating to me.
Well,
and I know the audience is loving it as well.
Oh yeah. And here's the thing with Rillian is that, talking about trustworthiness, is that Rillian just says what he thinks.
Yeah.
He's not like sugarcoating what he's thinking, so it's like you just hear it. And so like that is easy to like maybe a little easier to trust, even if it's like a little more a little rough around the edges, not so sweet, not so kind necessarily.
Bravo to you just being able to pull that filter off too, though, because I just very naturally to just basically go like, yeah, but what? And it was like, all right, Rhea wouldn't have said that, Narelle wouldn't have said that, and it was very funny.
No, I wonder if they'll ever meet. No, probably not.
Well,
it was too Feywildy.
Right. Oh, we heard Narelle's voice last episode of the episode before, and that was nice to hear Narelle's voice again. Though I think it was the first time Serena had heard Narelle's voice.
Yes, because they haven't seen The Broken Ring.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny, because it's like, as smooth as you think like Rillian or anyone else may be, like Narelle, like is the icing on the cake.
You haven't seen Smooth.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of Ray Winstone. Have you ever seen Sexy Beast? Oh,
no.
Oh, Sexy Beast is incredible. Sexy Beast is not for children. Sexy Beast is it's a British mobster movie about Ray Winstone plays this this criminal, this thief who's gotten out of the game, and these other British mobsters need him for a job, and so they send Ben Kingsley down to Spain to bring him back. And Ben Kingsley is the worst character in any movie ever. He is, and he's epic, and he should have won an Oscar for it. It's one of the best performances on television, in film ever. But yeah, it's an incredible movie if you've never seen it. Couldn't recommend it higher.
I was thinking we'd see Narelle at the Lake of Dreams. We'd meet Mara. Honestly, I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good guess. Like I assume that would be like one of the situations where I would consider that. But I don't know where Mara is.
Okay, all
I'm
right.
really
We have questions,
confused.
and we need to
Yeah,
dive in. And
let's do the questions.
no spoiler, but half the questions have to do with Mara.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, okay. Emerson, or the tension. It's Emerson on our Discord and others. Let's see, Emerson and City Racing Girl pretty much had the same question, which is, where do you think Mara is? Is it just something screwy with time, or is something more nefarious at play? Or as Emerson just said, Mara, all caps, question mark, question mark.
Um, Gosh,
I mean, look,
I
if
don't
ascending spell
know.
isn't working, it's a short list.
Yeah. Well, I was like, is the setting spell not working, or is Failshin messing with me?
Ron confirmed on the short rest, I think. Ron confirmed that he could have just let the sending spell have no response, but he thought it would be more fun.
Okay.
He thought it would
Yeah,
be more fun to have Failshin respond instead.
Either there's something around her, right?
Yeah.
Stopping from these sorts of things
or
from getting through.
She's incapacitated in some way.
Right, so is that another way that sending doesn't work?
I mean, I think if the person is unconscious or dead, that and they are unable to answer, that they may not be there.
The last information we got from Zozezeraz was that she was at that she was all right and that she was at the Lake of Dreams.
But Daria says my money is on time, and that was
one of
the concerns.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah,
when is she? Because when we saw the figure at the oracle at the Lake of Dreams, it seemed that was
like
Megalon,
that hasn't happened yet,
that
right?
hasn't happened yet. But here's the thing: this is why time maybe isn't the answer. Is the glove?
Yeah, the glove is here.
Yep.
We saw that she had the glove for a snip in the broken ring, right, when we met.
And the Emerald Bank has the glove now here in this time. So that is bad news.
Yeah, I don't.
Because if the glove is in the bank, that means that she's here, or at least was here. But that may also,
or the glove got intercepted by someone else at some point.
Right.
I don't know the details of the glove.
Right.
I don't know anything about this glove.
Correct.
But
last we knew. Oh, weird. I think did my face freeze?
Oh, you're frozen.
Why did my face freeze? Can you still hear me?
You're shocked. I can't hear you. Yeah.
Oh, weird. I'm gonna work on my window capture. Hang on one second. But yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess what I need to figure out is also, I have so many questions. Like, are we gonna run into ourselves? Like the way that Cristobal was saying, like he's still, maybe he's younger in this time. Like,
so?
Is that a thing?
I don't think that's a potential. I don't know. I mean, look, never say never. No, because I think it's both clear that both Cristobal and I were not present in this time.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, so I guess I don't know what this time is because I don't know when Yuri arrived. Right? Like
Right. We don't know
all of this.
Right.
Into this world, like into this plane. Oh God, Tension said if Mara's making her own deals to get back to them too. Oh God.
No. Boy. This is why I know that Failshin is an evil. I do know that. But
hey, that's my deity you're talking about.
We'll get into that. That's another question. That was the closest Val has been like, all right, Yuri Rillian, what the heck is going on? Like, that was a bold move that may not have been necessary, and so giving Failshin a seat at the table again worries Val, to say the least. All right, I'm having to switch cameras because I don't know what's going on with my other camera. So I'm sorry for my very white face.
Whoa! What year is this? Talk about time.
How dare you?
Timey-wimey.
I have transported back to 2008 with this camera. No, let me turn down the lights on myself. That's so funny. All right.
Yeah, so I guess to answer that question, I don't know. I don't know where she is. I have a feeling that she might be like trapped in some sort of magical something.
Uh-huh.
If she is here, if it's
Right.
not time.
Right.
Otherwise, it's that the timeline has not, matched up.
The fact that the glove is here, though, worries me that might not be the case.
Yeah, so I think that she's like either in something that's like blocking communication in some way or something. Because I think that whoever has her because I don't know, they're trying to lure us in.
Right. Well, and we know that lion vampire boy is working with the bank.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. And if they know something about Mara and they've intercepted her in some way and taken that, but taken her somehow, I don't know.
Oh, also a good point. That is the other thing that I was thinking, Daria, is the glove could have been here before it was in the Broken Ring. Because time in the Feywild is also weird.
I mean, whoa.
And that's why Rod was saying like, well, this is not like it's not like then, officially before the time, and like Broken Ring isn't officially before what's happening here, because it said time in the Feywild is weird like that.
Yeah.
Although it is before I arrived.
Right. But
that
then
doesn't mean that the timeline is
oh boy, we're gonna give ourselves a headache. Then that would have meant that the glove from here went to the Feywild somehow, and then Mara got it there and came back. I mean, look, yeah, we're super.
Yeah, I mean, Mab could have grabbed it, right? Someone could have grabbed it.
Yeah.
Failshin? I don't know. Brought it to the Feywild, and then Mara took it back out.
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, well, that actually leads us to a question from Tapartos,
which
is for both of us. What do you each think is going on with Coco and the Red Cap? Who's scared the most?
Oh, I'm scared. I think I'm scared the most.
I think you're clearly scared the most.
Yeah.
Val doesn't know enough to be super scared.
Right.
He only knows some of what Coco has told him about the Red Caps and Queen Mab. He's definitely concerned, for sure, but I don't know. There is a kind of trust with Coco that is like, even if I don't know everything about her, I think her heart's in the right place. But maybe that trust is starting to run thin, particularly because of what Yuri has told us, and just been like, I don't know, you all trust Coco so much. Are you sure you should? And we're like, why wouldn't we? It's been such a strange journey with Coco, because she has seemed as if, like a babe in the woods, this kind of like, I don't know. And part of that is true. But then the suspicion that we're like, no, maybe it's not as clear cut as that. Maybe there are things she knows and she's not sharing. And you're like, what? Because it's one of those, really great lies, because it is couched in a lot of truth, that Coco doesn't know a lot of things. But then there's like, wait a minute, what? Yeah. So.
Yeah, I keep going back to that insight check that was like episodes ago that told me that she was just choosing not to tell us something.
Yes.
And that's where it really changed my tune, because it was like, oh, there's some stuff that you do know and are choosing not to tell us.
Coco's had a few secret rooms lately.
Yeah, that too.
She had a couple secret rooms.
And I think that, like, I do think that Yuri thinks that Coco is a nice person in this version of her, but I don't, and I think believes that, she doesn't have her memories and all these things, but I think that they've had enough experience in the Feywild and all of the trickery that goes into that place to know that at a moment's notice, those memories could come back and we could have a different person in front of us,
Right.
or she could be unwittingly being used by other forces against us,
Yes, I
and now
mean,
that she's talking to a red cat.
I think that might be, yeah, that could be possible for sure. I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
So what do I think is going on with Coco and the Red Cap? I don't know, but I think the short answer is that I think we are going to have to get a little tougher with her.
I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know. I think let's see. Josephine agrees. I think Rillian is probably not gonna go down that route with Coco anymore after making her cry in the garden and whatever
Oh,
else.
in her pea
But
bush.
I feel like Rillian's not like ready to get close to her either. I think he's just like, yeah, whatever. That whatever attitude, right? Like is very much like
Right.
oh, I tried, I asked,
Right.
and is just Rillian is pretty black and white that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Um, but I agree that like yeah, I'm curious to see like what can be found out and
Val's
um
Val's been pretty consistent in terms of like, look, we all have secrets. We're all operating on, for different reasons. We're all thrown into this for different reasons and we have different things at stake. So I'm not here to make you tell me every last detail of your life if I don't have to know it, because I think Val's very aware that's like, look, I've got things to be ashamed of and
yeah.
things to hide. So I'm not looking to do quid pro quo at all, but also like very much what he said to Yuri a couple different times, which is like, look, what I need to know is what's gonna make you turn on me.
Right, exactly. Which I think is why you're just telling you like, look, Mab is after me, whatever is all of those things and it's like and Coco's with a red cap right now.
Right. And
Like, like that's why you will see erratic behavior or like defensive behavior.
and
Because yeah, as Vampire Bait said, like I would no, Yuri would have never said anything about Mara with Coco there. Absolutely not.
oh yeah. Yeah, that was another possibly beneficial thing of Carrie being out was, yeah, we definitely got a little bit more out of Rillian
Yeah.
slash Yuri because of it was just Otto and Val.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. And you said it, you're like, I trust you two the most, which I think
Yeah.
has just kind of happened. I was thinking about that. I was like, how Val and Yuri have sort of built this interesting level of trust. I mean, some of it has just come down to like we've saved each other multiple times at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's but it's also just kind of like, look, but there are things, I still don't know what's going on with you in my dragon scale. Well, Val hasn't even noticed it. So, but me, Morgan, I have no idea. But yeah, we prove trust with actions, as the tension says. Yes, I agree. Yes, agreed.
I think you know what? I was gonna say about the red caps,
And we were married that one time, Vampire. Yes, yeah, good point.
oh yeah. Yes, no, I do think that our shared vision like did a lot for like an unspoken subconscious bond between them.
True. It's hard
Like,
hard to shake it.
It's like sometimes when you just have like a really vivid dream,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it like affects your day, and
Yeah.
like we immediately woke up, like we're all around each other. So it's just like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
imagine you have that like really vivid dream. Sometimes it can be a negative of like, that person betrayed me in my dream
right,
last night.
yeah. But they had the same one.
But then they had the
Yeah.
same one.
So we experienced the same thing. We did experience it together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And so when you take that and combine it, and the two of you are in life and death circumstances all the
Yeah.
time anyway, and then you add
Yeah.
that sort of affection or connection that the two of you had in this vision, yeah, it's powerful. It's powerful stuff. Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dungeon Speedrun, I see you giving out gift subs. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Wait, take your
friends.
headphones off for a second.
Oh, take them off.
So I think, in chat, don't say anything that would let Morgan know what I'm saying, but I think based off the, vision that Yuri saw from the Keeper of Secrets is that the red caps are just like literally coming to check on Coco because clearly she's important to Mab and Belshin and all of them and is a lot more important than we think. So I think that the red caps are just like coming to do due diligence and keep their tabs on her because I think they have been. Anyway, okay.
La da 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 da. Anyway.
That's what I think. Oh, look at them trying to throw what we were talking about.
That's all we have to say about that. Incredible. By the way, I did see a comment earlier, and I want this to happen even in a place where we don't see it, which I think is Dungeon Speedrunner says, I think there needs to be a betting pool as to who gives up their secret first.
Yeah, honestly.
Guys, you go ahead and do that in the NoCast secret room of the Discord. There is a page of the Discord that we as the players are not allowed to see.
Just don't get to see, yeah.
Because we all agree with this. It's like, it's nice for you guys to conjecture, and we don't want to spoil it because it can affect you. You're like, maybe that is a good idea. But yeah, sometimes... but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I love the abilities that I'm getting from the secret, but as a storyteller, obviously I'm like, but it would be
giving it up
huge to give that up.
Yeah, not to spoil anything, but it was obvious that from my secret that like this is not a secret that can be kept forever. And so it was like, all right, I'm only gonna have this for a time.
Yeah, I'll have to see. I'll have to see how tense things get.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. More questions.
More questions.
Let's go to Tuomask. Tuomask has a good one about the meteor. How does it feel to have gods trying to kill you and sabotage your goals? Are you looking for new gods? Not great, Tuomask. That's how it feels. No.
Yeah. Rillian feels, when are they ever not?
Good point. I honestly think that's another space where Rillian and Val are connected.
Yes, that's right.
Because
the attitude towards the gods.
Val's just, well, like, and again, we've talked about this, but Val coming from a mageocracy, coming from a society where there's very powerful wizards around, and your dad and is a very powerful wizard. There's a reason that mageocracies tend to run into problems with the gods. You're like, psh. If I got a level 10 wizard around, I mean, how powerful is a god, really? Basically is kind of what it can be sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, Daria, how was that a Force of Light card? As we always say, like, Force of Light is normally good and Force of Shadow is normally bad, but sometimes they swing the other way. We like that little bit of chaos, for sure.
Maybe it was good in a way we have yet to realize.
That is very true. Though I don't know, that was horrible. It
was horrendous.
It was awful. So the storm being lifted. Okay, so and again, time, I don't know. So last we heard, Thasha was put in timeout by Zozezaraz, but the storm being lifted between the two islands tells me one of two things: either Thasha is dead, or Thasha has been released or is not in timeout and is allowing somebody to come after us. And so this fireball from the sky does feel like, and then the activation from Otto feels like this Sharon Ka, the Cinder Prince, is...
Oh yeah, Otto's thing seems way eviler.
Is coming for us. And what we have are these oh boy, the word is just gonna escape me. The children of Thasha, who are these elemental gods, and as we said, they're kind of all over.
Is that what Sharon Ka is
Sharon
too? Is
Ka
one of the
sort of the fire emanation of Thasha's child.
Yeah, I think what's hard is figuring out, like,
thank you, Dungeon Speedrun,
what we're supposed to prioritize. They all seem very bad.
I mean, listen, like, not all of Thasha's children are bad. Saint has now been possessed by a primogeny of Aitha, which was the god of air, and he was a trickery god, but was also kind of the air elemental version. I don't know if we've ever run into the water version. There was word of it. Or no, water was the one maybe that was possessing Saint's sister. I'm not sure. Venom was the snake god that was brought back, that was fought at the end of the Broken Ring, but we also fought it in the Hanging Gardens before we came to the City of Glass. And fire we heard about but never met, and there was always an implication that Otto was connected to it somehow.
That's so funny. I don't know about any of these, that they were like elements connected.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been around for any of
right.
those instances.
Nope. You're just, yeah.
I'm just in a little like romantic novel.
You're like, whatever. But so I don't know exactly what it means, but destroying the, I mean, it could have been an intentional attack on the city, on the tower of the ASMR tiefling families there in the Tri-City area. I don't know, man.
Maybe all the magic users are trying to kill the gods and become them. I don't know.
I mean, that wouldn't be the first time that happened.
Right. It's very classic magic user.
For real.
Ego. Yeah.
Are we looking for new gods was the second part of Tuo Mask's question. Well, I mean, that connects to another question. You reaching out to Faelshin as you know, or basically saying like, you can have my devotion. Who?
I'm sure if you look back a couple episodes, it's been happening.
Yeah, for sure. But I'd never heard you just straight up say, let's do this.
Yeah, yeah.
Val in that moment was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, when we left the City of Glass, look. Rhea was like found Lumber because Lumber was the only one down there. It was a deal of desperation of just like, yeah. Yeah, I'll worship you.
I love this.
And it was very fitting for them, honestly.
No, but I've never seen anything like that where, you know, I've seen characters like switch deities before, but I love the fact that as a changeling cleric, you are now on your third deity, by my count, which is incredible. Where it's just sort of like, oh yeah, you change gods with forms. Now, I don't think that's intentional. That's just sort of been out of necessity. But it's pretty fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was interesting, like, you know, Lumbra was like basically taken by Yuri because it was the first changeling that they'd seen, right? Like, so it's like, and it was just like, oh, opportunity.
Yeah.
Grab there, get some power. I mean, I will miss that mask, but
oh yeah, and you threw it away.
Yeah,
that was a bold move. I was surprised by that.
The power's not going to work.
True, probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, the power's not going to work, and it's like pretty detrimental if someone else puts it on.
Good point. Okay. All right.
Which I know, like if you were like, well, no one else, someone else could have used it. I was like, it's not one of those kind of.
Not a good idea.
Very much a bad thing if someone else puts it on.
Well,
which I wish we'd had the chance to test that.
As I've said about Faelshin a number of times, it's like, it's not that I think Faelshin is evil. It's that I don't like what happens to us when he's around.
Yeah.
And that last meeting with him was just the perfect example of, we make bad decisions whenever he's around.
Well, y'all still don't know my like connection to Faelshin too. No, you know, really. I mean, like you watch Broken Ring, so you know at least the extent of what the audience knows, which they don't know.
I didn't see your secret room with him though. I specifically did not watch it. Nope.
Okay, even that, but even that, had they had you seen and what the audience has seen, like, is still let me just say that like Ron was like, oh, we'll figure out the details later, and that was us being like, oh yeah, we're not putting it on camera. Like there is still like the details of that are very specific.
Boy, oh boy.
And yeah, I don't know, you guys have seen that scar over the heart, and like there's some, I don't know, there's just a lot going on there, and
something at some point we have so many clues about Yuri really and Rhea. Also the golden flower tattoo, which we saw or you know, the other night. Not sure what the connection, but that seemed to be connected to Mara, I would guess, but not sure. Love it. All right, anyway.
Yeah.
Theories.
My persona doc is so I can't wait to like be able to tell you guys
I know.
something of the
I
it's like
know.
I worked really hard on all these details.
We did it at the end of campaign 1. It is a fun thing to go back and watch, where we actually got to, at the end of campaign 1, went back and watched everybody's secret rooms together. And so there was a lot. That's a
Oh.
really fun thing to do, because we would just go back and go, wait, what happened? Like, that happened the whole time? And I mean, as the warlock of the party in campaign 1, the fact that
Oh yeah.
there was so much going on between me and Jeff that the rest of the party did not know about. There were like full on, Jeff even laughed. He's like, I was making full on references to the rest of the party and only realized later, oh, they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because only Morgan knows that.
Yeah. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
My God.
No, I know. I should be more forthcoming in the next secret rooms because I feel like even in the secret rooms I've been very secret.
I love it. It's force a habit, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Let's see. Okay. Okay, I like to part this question. In fact, keeping of secrets, what's the first question you're going to ask your brother, Bretonius, when you are alone? And how long has it been since you last saw each other? Okay.
And can we romance?
I guess. He's my little brother. He's right. Give me a second.
It's just so cool. Okay,
all
go on.
NPCs are romanceable, as we know. Don't stop us. So it has been since it's been more than 8 years, because Val did not see Bretonius when he came back for that brief time before he was whisked away. So it's been, for Bretonius, it's been over 8 years. Bretonius was always the little brother who was kind of,
aww.
We babied him a little bit. We called him Tony. But also Val was protective of him, and he was protective of Vizzy as well. So it was really hard for him when he felt like, they don't need me to protect them, and when he took off. I'm sure everybody took that quite personally. But so it's been more than 8 years. Since the last time they saw each other, because I tried to see Bretonius while I was there in my session 0, but there was a lot going on, and it seemed like I had heard there was a little bit of a hint that there was something going on with him, and my mother said that he was possibly in a romance with a Gith, someone from the Gith family. But my mother was very dismissive of it. Yeah, my mother was very. It was beautifully played by Ron and Jared in my session 0, where you saw both why Val was like the eldest and sort of, like was propped up to be the best boy, but then also, like, my mother was also cutting down my siblings to me, and Val is old enough to just be like, no, like, cut that out. And so there was a very real moment of like, Mom, are you okay? And then in this moment of just pulling back of like, I didn't say this at the time, but it was like, leave them out of this. So I was worried about Bretonius at the time, but did not get the chance to see him. So this will be my first time actually seeing Bretonius in the campaign, which I'm extremely excited about. What's the first thing? What's the first thing I'm going to ask him? What the heck happened? I mean, I think is I think is order number 1. He obviously
is he silver too?
Yes, yeah, the whole family is. And so, the fact that he seems to be working against the bank is very exciting. The fact that he is, through Cuddlesworth, keeping agreed, 8 years is a lifetime, people are saying in chat, agreed. The fact that he's keeping an eye on the house with Cuddlesworth is fascinating. So I think we're set up to do good things. I mean, the painting that we saw of Val done by Bretonius certainly seems that he has some affection still towards me. That's good news. But boy, I don't know. I can't wait. Does that mean Val is the younger brother now? Whoa. That's a good question.
Ah!
Vampire.
Yeah, what's the age difference?
Vampire Bait says, I wonder if the guards mistook Val for Bretonius. What's the age difference? It was about 5 years. If memory serves. So,
yeah, if 8 years has passed, but for you it's only been
4. 8 years since we saw each other last, but 4.
Oh.
I lived 4 of those years, so not quite, but close. I think Vizzy now might technically be older than Val. I hadn't thought about that. Val has lost 4 years. Not everybody. I saw it asked earlier.
So you're still a year older.
I still don't think we've clarified exactly how much time has passed for Cristobal. A couple hints were dropped that it was more time, and we were like, what? But yeah,
he's lost more time. Yeah, like, is he still a kid?
I don't know.
Is that what?
But I mean, when we go back to how we found Cristobal in episode 3, we found Cristobal frozen in ice on the side of a mountain.
What? You did?
Yep.
That's so cool.
Still dressed in courtly clothes.
Of course.
So he was freezing. He had to make so many con saving throws his first couple episodes. Like it sucked. But yeah. So it was implied as if he'd been there longer or something. I don't know. Which makes sense now. I didn't realize it at the time because it was all weird.
Yeah.
But that was just sort of something you put together at the time. Let's see. We have more questions here, but I think, yeah. Anything else?
Do you think
we're excited to talk to Bretonius for sure?
Yeah, I was just thinking about Bretonius. I was thinking about flirting and all of these things, and I was like, do you think that Otto is the type to get jealous, or do you think that now that Yuri has that Rillian like talked about Mara, that Otto's? I'm really curious as to how Otto's going to act after this.
I think.
After that information.
Based on the conversation that Serena and I had in our last cooldown. I think Otto is dealing with a lot. I think Otto is still very affectionate towards Yuri, but I think he's overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, Otto's going through it. I don't think. Yeah. I think Otto is also kind and sweet enough that even if they were to feel jealousy, they would quickly realize maybe that's not fair. Maybe that's not. I don't know. So
yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm curious how they would feel though. Like like if I was like hitting on someone like your brother, right? Like on someone directly in front, because I don't think I've done that.
Not that I can remember.
Directly in front of, like, there was one point where I was like a little flirty with Val ages ago.
Right.
But like that was like very early on in the episodes too.
Yeah.
I don't think that Otto has seen that like directly in front of them, and I'm curious.
I think Otto's
do I want to poke that?
I think Otto's still collecting information when it comes to
do I want to add more trauma? And honestly, like I kind of go back and forth, like, oh man, I feel like the audience, oh man, I don't know if I can even say this.
Oh, do I need to take my headphones off again?
No, not even for you, for everything. Is like, do I think that Yuri's a good person? Anyway. Because I know why I'm doing certain things.
Sure. I mean, this is like like we've talked about alignment before in D&D. This is when alignment is interesting, because I agree that alignment for the most part gets unnecessary. But however, like most things in D&D, like your background or anything like that, it can just help you as a creative prompt, as a creative suggestion with questions.
I guess it's like a level,
right?
Yeah, it's a level of priorities.
It's a level of priorities.
And what you prioritize. Yeah. And what trumps something else.
Yeah, it's a compass. It's a centering thing of going like, because there are times where you're like, where exactly like what just happened, where you were just like, boy, what would You know, and the answer is so often, especially in just now in a conversation, because we're so heady and trying to figure it out, rationalize things, you don't know how you might actually respond. Whereas in the moment, it's almost much quicker to go like, nuh-uh, you know, or go, oh yeah, I'm down for this, you know, something like that.
Well, if I were to peel back a little bit here, this is me peeling a little, I don't know what I'm peeling. It's a
an onion, a layer cake.
Cheese. It's cheese, and this is the wrapper.
The rind has come off. Okay, we're starting with the Baby Bell, so okay, the wrappers.
Yeah. I'm just going to sort of pay, that at this point, you know that Yuri is being hunted in some way, or that Mab does not like, not hunted, I don't know, but that Mab does not like them, that there's something going on there.
Yeah. Taparto says they are currently eating Baby Bells. Nice.
We know that Rhea, that Yuri knew pretty much from the get-go that Coco was from the Feywild.
Yep.
And so they were aware that there was someone from the Feywild potentially watching them the entire time that you guys have seen Yuri on camera. And that there's certain behavior that may be completely due to that fact.
Okay. What's that thing called in science where you change something by the act of simply looking at it?
I don't know what that's called.
No, but it's a a theory, maybe proven or something like that, where even by the act of observing something, you change it.
Yeah. And I don't remember what I told you about Mara last episode. What did I say?
Not much.
Just so I don't.
She's a princess, and that she is someone that you love. She's basically said.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I did.
You basically said that. I think I asked pretty straight up, like, you. And I forget exactly how you worded it. It was beautiful.
And Vampire Bait is now saying, "Oh no," because if the secret is that she is someone that I love, what is some of the behavior that might counteract that if someone is watching me?
Oh God, I don't know. Oh, I mean that you love Otto, or that you are romancing Otto or anybody else. I don't know, but then maybe, but also we just sort of assumed that that Yuri might be someone who is poly or at least poly romantic, certainly, to say the least, or is that simply manipulation or a defense mechanism? Never fall in love, as you've said.
Yeah, I gave some very specific advice.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. You were telling us the whole time it wasn't real. It's never been real.
I don't know.
I know.
I'm just putting that, like, it's not anything that's particularly hidden. I'm just presenting to you the facts that are out there.
Right. The fact that you showed us Yuri when you did was, I think, certainly a big step, because you didn't have to, but you in that moment felt like we certainly, like Zozezeraz had put us enough in like a shell or whatever,
a bubble,
that we weren't being watched, and so you felt okay to do that.
It was a hard thing to grapple with, because I felt like it was the only time that it could happen. Like, as a player too, I was kind of like, I don't know that Yuri necessarily wanted to again in front of Coco, but I couldn't think of like another scenario where it would ever happen.
No, I love that.
And I just kind of wanted it, like.
Well, and you as the player, sometimes we often, sometimes like, oh, I've got all this cool stuff hidden. Like, this is literally the only time when I will probably feel safe enough to do this. And I enjoyed rewarding that with like all right, because I specifically remember saying, you don't have to do this. And you did, and so it was like, okay, I trust you. I'm going to mirror the trust that you gave us in that.
Yeah.
I I mean, look, you could all stab us in the back next episode.
Oh, for
I don't
sure.
think that's gonna
I'm a
happen.
trickery domain cleric from the Feywild who's a changeling.
What?
Like everything is like it's like almost everything is a cover. Everything is a cover for something else. And so like that's what I mean. Like even behavior might be drawing your attention to that behavior, making you like, oh, that's so them.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like it's just.
And everybody's style of friendship and affection and love is different, right? I mean, so even though your North Star is Mara, you know, that doesn't mean that what you have or you know, with us or with Otto is
sure.
Is in
I think it's just I think the value, or not the value, the title of it, or like what it's being categorized as might be different in each person's mind.
I think Otto's realizing that. I think I can say
yeah,
that.
I think that last episode, and I felt so bad. I mean, it was in character, but it's in character, like as really, I was like, I can't even look them in the eyes. Like, I was just, I don't know if you noticed, but most of that was delivered to Val.
That is true. I remember the moment before, not last episode, but the episode before, when it was just the four of us with Adam, and we specifically asked at some point, because it was girls on one side, guys on the other, and we're like, hey, do we want to mix it up? And you and Serena both said, no, we don't want to sit across the table from each other. Because Serena openly said, I think too, she's like, no, part of what I think makes our dynamic so great is that we're so close to each other, but that also that I don't have to look at you that much.
Yeah, well, because when I talk to Otto, I make very distinct eye contact. Usually, because it's you know, it's like, you know, looking into someone's eyes. And Serena can have the choice to just look forward or like look away or to not. But if you're across the table, it's very hard to do in a way.
It's hard to look away.
Yeah.
It's very true. That was very funny. Because I thought the same thing before Adam said, is like, hey, should we mix it up? And the immediate response from both of you was no. Absolutely not.
Yeah. Well, because then I would be catching his eyes all the time and, you know, causing a fluster where I didn't even mean to.
Ooh, oh my stars. All right, we have one or two more questions that I want to get to.
All right, let's do it.
Because we can't run too long today, my friends, but we're so happy we were able to do this. City Racing Girl has a complicated question for me, though, and I want to dive in.
Ooh, great.
MPB, do you think Eddard has something to do with the fact that he is now the leader of his family, i.e. had them all killed? Or do you think it was the giant meteor that took down the tower? Could he be in cahoots with the feted father somehow? I mean, look. So Val, Eddard is Strix's cousin, who is, as we seem to understand it now, seems to be in charge of the Celesta family.
Next in line, yeah.
Yes, because at least what we saw seems to have been that people die, that the others died above him. So, simple answer is Val has no idea. Because I've tried to say this before, but even before Val left, even before he, went off to the woods, basically, not literally, but went off to his beach house, to his Barbie beach house after his failed engagement, Val had checked out of the politics of the families and everything. And I think that was kind of one of the things that Strix liked about him, was he didn't really care. So his relationship with Eddard was passing. So Val was not a player at that time to try to figure out what Eddard. So he didn't even really know Eddard that well, which probably explains once again why Eddard was so dismissive of him and talked down to him so much, which Val eventually, after he'd had a couple drinks, had to check and go like, all right, buddy, time to shut your mouth. And that's sort of what that was. But my impression of Eddard at the time was as a whiny little brat, like a rich brat. But that, again, as someone said earlier, that was 8 years ago. That was a while. So Val has no idea who this Eddard is now. He could now be very Machiavellian. He could be involved with a feted father. That seems like a stretch. One would hope if you're gonna try to orchestrate your rise to power, you wouldn't have to kill your elders and destroy your family's home in order to do it. But I don't know, crazier things have happened.
I don't know. That seems pretty classic.
It doesn't. I mean, I guess. Daria says we already know you can take him. LOL. Dang straight. Yeah, come on, bring it, Eddard. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Let's go round 2. Let's do this. But yeah, so it's not good if Eddard is at all the same person that Val knew, because Eddard is not a not a cool guy by all means, and the fact that now Val seems to be, I think I saw someone question earlier, is if they thought that Val was Bretonius when they wanted to arrest him on sight. I don't think that's the case.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't think Val and Bretonius are that similar, and
like look so similar.
And if you remember now there's also the weird timeline thing of the statue of Eric's at Val's home, which they've said, well, Val's always looked like Eric's. So even though Val himself looks different to himself, everyone else seems to know what he looks like, which is weird.
That was a fun moment of just like getting out of there and like dimension dooring it, like
that was
grabbing that was really fun.
Yeah,
of just like imagining this scenario playing out of just like walking up and then like got him and just
And it's one of those things too where like if I'm doing the math on their side of things, the fact that, and it's one of the reasons why I told Strix, or why I'm not Strix, why I told Vizzy that I was like, hey, if you see Strix's family, if they know I'm back, please tell them that I don't know where Strix is. But of course it's suspicious.
Right, of course.
This guy who broke her heart seemingly, returned, only then seemed to be whisked away with her in a mysterious way that we thought left them both dead, but now he's back, and where is she? And
weird. Maybe Val and Yuri connect on a subconscious level of knowing what it's like to disappear at the same time as someone you have romantic.
There's that, but I think one of the ways that Val's connected with Yuri in other ways is the desire and need to change who you are to fit the situation. I think Val has kind of given that up a long time ago, but earlier in his life that was absolutely what he did, or at least he tried and he failed at it. He was bad at it.
Well, it seems like very also like when you're in court life sort of thing, right? Like
court life,
appeasing the right people,
business,
and politics, and,
or making deals and all that stuff, like business and yes, appearing a certain way even just to please your parents or something like that.
Wait, so Val and Strix's relationship fell apart because why?
It was her family never liked him.
Right.
And so there was a lot of tension building up to the wedding, but they were sticking together. And then a few nights before the wedding, Val was particularly insulted by this guy, Eddard. Val challenged him to a duel and stabbed him. And didn't kill him, but stabbed him. Then it was sort of a crescendoing of events that Strix, that after that happened, Strix's family called off the wedding. Val sort of waited for some sort of word from Strix on that, and none came. It was basically your family called off the wedding and you didn't say boo. You didn't stop them, or you didn't,
Right.
Which is not fair to her. I'm not.
No, but it's great. No, yeah. I mean, but you can see where that's Yeah.
And so and
love it, Morgan, love it.
Thank you. But it was also, and Val fully acknowledges that like part of it was anger, but there was definitely a part of him that was like, I'm gonna make this for everybody. I'm gonna make this easier for everybody and just take off.
Yeah, right. Which is kind of the
It's not. Yeah, Daria says not Val's most heroic moment. Absolutely not.
No, of course not.
That's very.
You and I are the same. We like to make.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Flawed choices.
It was Val. I've said this before.
Those are emotional choices.
Absolutely. Where if his self-esteem was so low at that time, where he was like, look, everything I've tried to do, I've screwed up and I've hurt the people I care about, and you know what? I'm gonna make it easier on them and I'm gonna leave. And that's what he did. And that's not heroic and it's not cool. But it is what he did. So it's part of the things what made my session 0 so emotional and hard, because his father had died and he was like, all right, I'm going to try to come back and help, I guess, even though I don't know what help I can be. And everybody was angry at him. Yeah. And as they should be.
Every time we do these, I'm like, I just want to talk about everything.
I know.
It's very hard.
It's very
like,
hard.
oh, I just want to tell you everything. I didn't even tell y'all what I did, like what my job was.
What do you mean? Wait, what?
Right, like I said, I worked in the courts.
Oh, yes, right. Interesting.
And Broken Ring doesn't even really answer that either.
I know.
Which was what was so funny. We did that whole back, but I just feel like there's so much connection of just like these noble, with you and with Cristobal, with Val and Cristobal, of just like
Dungeon Speedrun says data
all
entry.
Came from these like court life, right? This court life where there is so much complicated political intrigue and like who's who and you know how quickly you can anger one family or the next, and
people are throwing out theories now on what your job was. Coat checker, clerical stuff. You were the court stenographer. That's what it was. Which, you know.
Oh, man, I forgot that I did that thing on the Patreon that like spilled secrets, but I don't even remember.
Yeah, that's still there, folks.
Hey.
Yeah, go on back for a cast secret. It's been a while since
that might all be revealed at this point, because that was while I was Rhea, you know.
That's true.
And I don't know what I ended up.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like the biggest, or no, I could be very wrong, but I feel like you told me, or you've told me after the fact that one of the biggest secrets dropped in that was Squillage.
Did I drop that?
I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
It was a while ago.
I don't remember.
Whenever you want to do a new cast secret, I know the patrons would love it. So
I'll have to see what I said before. I know I have it written down at home.
It's been a minute.
I have it written down at home, and I could do another big secret. Like now that it's like, you know, I can't believe we did the Broken Ring, and there was like
I know
100% of things we just didn't answer. Actually,
I know
almost at all. All you know is that.
Just more pieces, more puzzle pieces, and you still can't find the corners.
They were in trouble, that there were wanted posters, and that they ended up leaving with more. Like, that's all you got.
I know. All right, I think that's.
Is there another question?
Oh, okay. Taparto says a lovely, and I love this as a 2023 end of 2023 question. It's almost 2024, my friends. Josephine, what has been your best moment to RP since you got to Val's home?
Since getting to Val's home.
I mean.
Ooh.
Oh God, there's been a lot. I mean, some of the auto stuff has just been so lovely.
Yeah, you know what? Since I think it's on my mind because we kind of talked about it tonight, but like was the moment when I think like we're in Val's home and I'm with Otto in the painting room and trying to and giving him advice, and because like I knew what I was saying, right? Like, and I've had that advice written down for a long time. Trying to tell
You're like,
Otto,
say this to Otto, please.
Trying to teach you the
incredible.
Yeah, for trickery and like, you know, all that sort of like little advice of just like and just kind of trying to, because I was trying to say something else with the words that I was saying, right? Like,
that was clear.
And so I think that's like, I was like those moments. I mean, I tried to do that in almost everything that I'm that Rillian said, that Yuri says in general, is like they're always kind of saying something else. There's a lot going on. Like, I mean, we had Otto have that insight check so that you know that like there's stuff they can't say, right?
Right.
And so I'm always trying to like tiptoe the line of that.
The discovery of that something happened to you even when you started to talk about Mara at some point.
Oh yeah. I'll be honest, I don't know what that was. I like got gaunt.
Yeah. Got gaunt.
Got gaunt. I just brushed past. I was like, I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna add more to my problems by looking into it. I'm not sure what that or maybe it was just like a warning. I feel like it was like a warning of some kind.
I loved seeing, hey, you know what? question of if Yuri's a good person or not. I loved seeing Yuri just as Aurelian just as a straight up cleric when the meteor hit and you were and what did you do? And I think that was again a moment of seeing how you responded in that moment is you helped as many people as you could.
Yeah, I really like that too, actually. I was like, nice. Oh, no, this actually reveals that like in this thing that this is what they do. You know, like they do help people. They help people
very quickly
in that way. Yeah, and I almost popped off some like prayer of healings too. Like I was just but I was like, I don't want, do I want to use up every single spell?
Right. Right.
We did help a lot of people. It was like over 20 people, I think, that
doc. Like, it was
stabilized there. Oof. So I was like, okay.
Yes. And Tension says, what is their instinct without an agenda to help? Yes.
Yeah. No, that was nice. That was a good moment too. I did like that. Oh, the horrific event, but I liked getting to show that aspect of them because I think they have come off in every other instance as someone who is who is just surviving or is just doing it because they're getting something out of it. But I actually don't think that that's not actually how they function normally. I think they do like to heal and help and care for.
Like a lot of us, I think, when given time to like really think and overthink something is when we get ourselves in the most trouble. Yes, yeah. But when you're given no time and you're just to responding on instinct is when you learn something about somebody for sure.
Yeah, and so many things just don't fall into the category of either help someone or don't. It's not like a one or the other.
Right. Fascinating. All right. Well, last thing I just wanted to do before, because is as we said, it's our last stream of the year. Thank you so much, everybody, once again for such an amazing 2023. I wanted to just like quickly think about some of our favorite moments of this year, and I mean, number one with a bullet is you joining our table, and I just wanted to say that it's been so amazing, and I can't believe that it's only been since. When was it? April, May? I forget.
It was. I think it was like May.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It wasn't even the full year.
Yeah, and it's been so amazing to have you, and we've so enjoyed it, and obviously the community's taken to you like a duck to water. But yeah, it's we were friends long before this, but I've so enjoyed finally getting to play with you.
It's been so lovely. Like it's been incredible being at this table, and it's such a good group. It's so welcoming. It's so like you just want to play forever. Like and just like explore all these things. It's like, well, no, let's get the answer to this.
We tried to communicate this to the audience is like, it's like, you guys don't understand, like this table, we love each other. Yeah. we are the best of friends. It's really lovely. Yes, and we love you new members of the community who have joined us in this time as well, so we really appreciate you. Taparta says watching Carrie learn D&D. Yeah, that's been for sure. Carrie's come a long way. Surprises even me sometimes, so I'm like, whoa. Yeah, I'm so impressed by her.
And I love our little random one-shots that we've gotten to do.
Yes.
The Halloween one-shot was so much fun.
The Halloween one was so incredible. I'll say our Heroes of Bingo reunion that we got to do with Jeff back, I can't believe that was less than a year ago. Timey-wimey, good God. But that was so much fun. And so much, I got to perform a math trick that was so much fun. We had such a great time with that. Getting Jeff back at the table is always incredible. We've got to get you at the table with him at some point because Jeff's DMing.
That would be so fun. Yeah,
beautiful. I was trying to think from the Stormborn story what some of my biggest moments, or what like some of the favorite or biggest moments for me from this year have been. And I remember, like, biggest jaw drop moment was finding out that Medjolon and Cristobal were the same person. That was, and then realize, and then the whole conversation with Zozezaraz that came after that. But it was like, what? I think my jaw was on the table for like a full 5 minutes after that happened.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, and that we're the last iteration of trying this out.
Such a bummer.
Right? I loved the Vision episodes.
Yes.
I thought they were super fun.
I was gonna say that was like the clip of Carrie and Serena with the rock paper scissors, 4 times straight, continuing to just read each other's minds in the craziest way. I loved that so much. But yeah. Oh, this Daria. I was just thinking that Val being incapacitated for the entire fight. Oh God, I know that whole fight where everyone was fighting for their lives and I'm just unconscious on the ground doing puzzles. Which, you know,
sometimes it's like that, you know, sometimes it's just what happens.
I love it. It's perfect.
Yeah, no, there's so many good moments.
Yeah.
It's been
and all of the broken ring, we mentioned this last episode too, but we're so grateful and love Rachel and Iffy and Jessica and Jared and Christina and Christoph, and you, of course, but
it was
everyone
so much fun. I wish I could have played with them some more too. Like, it was just like a little blip and I was like, have fun, guys.
Scheduling that show was really hard.
Yeah.
And we may have to pre-tape more coming in the year. We've said this to you all, but doing live in person in our current atmosphere of of illness,
that's where the schedule gets
health and safety,
wild.
It's really hard, and so just in order
we want to give a consistent show.
Exactly. So we may just it's really like balancing, you know, the live versus the pre-taped. It is so much easier sometimes to just bank a couple and pre-tape some stuff.
It might be good to like do like an every other one where you know that every other one is live for sure, but then we have something in the bank if you know everyone's sick.
Don't be surprised if we toy with that a bit coming up soon. Next week we've got something coming next week. I'm still confirming what it's going to be. You're still out of town for next week.
Y'all have fun.
It won't be a full it won't be a full episode, something. So be on the lookout. But definitely I expect to have everybody back at the table by January 10th. So be sure for that. But next week, January 3rd, be on the lookout for, we're going to do something, that I promise.
Oh my God, it's already January 3rd next week.
It's 2024. We're in the future. We're in the future. All right, my friends.
Okay.
I love you all. You're doing a bunch of streams this week, yes? Are you still playing Baldur's Gate?
Yeah, I'm gonna stream right after this.
Amazing.
Right after this, Michael and I are playing Firewatch.
Oh, I've never played that, and it always looks like so much fun.
So we're continuing that like imminently in like 10 minutes.
Get to it. I love when the two of you stream together too. That's so much fun. All right, loved ones. We love you so much. Right. Have a great Happy New Year. Be
Happy
safe
New Year.
out there.
Happy
but
holidays.
we will see you soon. We'll see you on the Discord. Bye, friends. Bye, humankind. Be both.
Be both.
I almost forgot. Bye.